Welcome to Stirring Up Talk with Gecko Hospitality, the podcast where hospitality experts meets real-world success.
Chris, thank you for coming
Hi.
on Stirring Up Talk.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Yes, before we get started, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. I worked in hotels most of my life. I started out as a host, moved into food and beverage. It's where I met my wife. She was in sales. I was in operations. We're kind of lifers in the industry. We feel like it's the business that we lived and grew up in. And eventually, we grew, both of us grew to a point in leadership where we had a front row seat to what makes hospitality work and what happens when you don't have the right people in place. So I feel like we have a really good insight.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing. So we're going to kind of start off with your general background, which you shared with us a little bit already.
Absolutely. I spent most of my career working in upscale or luxury resorts and most of the time in the Florida market. So most of my experience is that I got exposed to a lot of different divisions within a hotel because of that. So there was a spa team, the rooms division team, the facilities team, the golf team. I got exposure to a lot of different divisions within a hospitality organization to see what works and what doesn't work. And my seat at the table had insight to all of those dynamics. And I got to hear people talk about the successes that they were experiencing and the challenges that they were experiencing, even if they weren't in my realm. I was there to be part of the solution, at least hear what the problem was and work towards a solution.
Yeah, that's amazing. And what were some of the biggest challenges you faced during that time, and how did that influence your current work today?
I think in all of hospitality, the biggest challenge is staffing. This industry requires a certain type of person to be successful. All industries do really, there's a certain personality type that fits
Totally.
just about
Yeah.
everything, right? Just like hospitality has it too. So finding that person, that personality, that fit is a big challenge. And then keeping them is also a challenge. So that's probably the biggest two opportunities that I see.
And what made you decide to focus on recruitment?
Well, that was really one thing that I didn't like about the role was that the constant training. It wasn't that I didn't like the training. It was that I could never develop people beyond a certain point, right? The revolving door, there was just too short a time frame to get people to grow into leadership positions because they were moving on to the next best thing for themselves.
Yeah. And was there a specific moment or experience that made you realize the need for change?
And I remember meeting some really bad hires, some people that were hired out of desperation. The position had been filled for a while. Everyone that was around that position was working extra shifts to cover it. And so the decision was made to bring on a warm body, and that impacted the operation in such a negative way between morale and all the other components to it. It turned out to be a really costly mistake, and I don't want people to make those mistakes anymore.
And so we're going to kind of shift gears a little bit and talk about job boards and recruitment. You mentioned that
Okay.
job boards are failing the hospitality industry. Can you elaborate on why they're not meeting the needs of businesses?
Yeah, it's because they're built for volume, not value. They don't filter out leadership. You get resume dumps, not candidates. In hospitality, you need a culture fit, you need pace tolerance, you need people skills. Job boards, they don't screen for that.
Yeah. And are there any specific examples or data points that highlight this issue that you know of?
Yeah, I have a client, a GM that needed an AGM and called me and on the video call showed me a 3-inch stack of resumes on
Oh my
her desk.
gosh. Wow.
And she said, I've gone through all of them and not a single one of these are qualified. And so we talked, I understood what she needed. And within 30 days, I had her an AGM.
Good for you. That must have felt really rewarding.
It was, and it felt good to understand what the problem was, what the obstacle was, and figure out a solution to get around it.
Yeah, I see that it's a reoccurring theme about knowing what the client needs as well as the hire.
It's equally important. A candidate has to be the right fit for the role. But so often people don't ask if the role's the right fit for the candidate. And that's equally important. If the person shows up to work overtime, not really liking what they're doing, then you have a problem right there. So you need to make sure that it's a two-way street. It has to be right both directions.
Absolutely. And what are some of the biggest mistakes hospitality businesses make when relying on job boards for recruitment?
I think they rely on them like they're a strategy, and they're not. They're a tool. They're not a solution. So you can use the job boards. I use the job boards, but they're just a tool. You can't rely on them solely. Also, posting the same boilerplate ad as the competition. Look at it from the candidate's perspective. If you scroll down, it's almost like the tender of jobs. Yes, yes, no, no, no. It's everybody looks the same, and people sometimes don't even really know what they're applying for. So there's some challenges there.
The way that you described, it's a tender of jobs. I love that.
Thanks.
And how do these mistakes impact the quality of hires and overall business performances?
Well, it burns out your hiring managers, which slows down the operation, and then that leads to turnover. And so when your leadership turns over, so do your frontline teams. So it's like a ripple effect.
Have you seen it firsthand?
Yeah, it's actually more common than you would think. Individuals in hospitality are compensated on performance, KPIs, and as a leader, your KPIs are the people below you. And if you're constantly replacing them and trying to teach them the right way to do things, it's really hard to meet your indicators.
Absolutely, I'm sure it is. And so we're going to talk about some solutions and insights. If the job boards aren't the answer, what alternative strategies should hospitality businesses consider for finding top talent?
Well, it's targeted recruiting. It's having real conversations and working with someone who actually knows the industry and the market. You need someone who understands what leadership looks like in a 48-room boutique inn, and also what it looks like in a major branded airport hotel. So having that knowledge is essential.
And if someone did know where to find that knowledge, where would you suggest them to go?
Well, you're going to call me. You're definitely going to want to call me. I know where they are. I'm the solution.
You're the solution. I like that. Are there any tools or platforms you've seen that are doing this well?
I use a platform called Loxo. It's a recruiting CRM, but the platform isn't the secret. It's a process. It's relationship building. It's consistent outreach. It's a deep bench of passive talent. It's not technology.
Can you share a specific success story where a business shifted away from job boards and saw better results?
I didn't come up with a good one for that. All right.
That's okay. If you don't know, we can pass it.
Let's pass it.
What were key factors that contribute to your success as a recruiter?
My in-depth knowledge of the industry, being in the room when decisions are made, and then being in the room to see the results of those decisions, I think is invaluable. I can pretty accurately estimate the forward progress of a company's potential based on the team that they have, their skill set, and how they interact with each other. It's really not a complicated thing. The most difficult part is finding the right people that can work together with the same goal ahead of them. That's really the hardest part. And once you have that, it's almost like it goes on its own.
It's amazing. So we're going to kind of switch gears a little bit and talk the future of recruitment. What trends do you see shaping the future of recruitment in the hospitality industry?
Well, workforce expectations have changed. Leaders, they want more support. They want balance in their career and their life, and they want more transparency in what their surroundings are, what their environment is from their superior's perspective. It used to be, some of the line level employees that was what they were looking for, but this is now what leadership is looking for. And if you're an employer and you're ignoring that, you're going to lose.
How can a business prepare themselves to adapt for these trends?
If you start treating leadership like an investment and not an expense, it means everything from onboarding to growth plans and regular check-ins. It's not just about who you hire, it's what you do with them after you hire them.
Yeah, absolutely. And how can a business better align their recruitment strategies with the evolving needs of workforce?
I think if you stop trying to save money on your most important asset, which is your team, your labor, a bad hire will cost you much more than a recruiter does.
Absolutely. And do you think the current workforce is looking for something fundamentally different than previous generations?
100%. I had this conversation just the other day. I'm older, and in my youth, it was a sign of pride to have an employment for one company for a period of time longer than 2 or 3 years. Sometimes 5 or 7 or even 10 was norm. That's not the case anymore. You see people change positions every year,
So
sometimes
fast.
less than that. And it's really hard when there's a person like me trying to hire someone like that, because I view it differently, because I grew up in it differently. But times have changed, and it's not the same anymore. You have to give employees what they want, because there's other places that do, and that's what they're looking for. So you have to adapt.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we're going to talk about personal insights a little bit. What's one piece of advice you'd give to hospitality businesses struggling to find quality candidates?
I think I answered that question earlier, inadvertently, so I'm sorry.
Okay.
Let's get that one. I'm looking at it, and it's the same thing I said just a minute ago, so I'm sorry.
Is there a particular moment or experience in your career that solidified your views on the inefficiencies of job boards?
I did that one too. I completely got out of order. I'm so sorry. Did I mess this up for you? I'm so sorry.
Are you ready for some rapid fire?
Yeah, go for it.
Dog or cat?
That's a hard question. I have a dog, a cat, and a rabbit, but
Oh my gosh, that's a lot of animals.
it is. It is. The cat just left the room, so I'm going to tell you it's the dog. It's definitely the dog.
I'm a dog person too. What is your favorite hobby?
Well, I just a couple of weeks ago started trying to learn how to play the harmonica. I can make a
Wow.
pretty mean train sound, but I'm just a couple of weeks in, so give me some time.
Okay. If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Oh yeah, that would be the ability to freeze time. I tend to procrastinate, so if I could get 3 hours of work done in that last 15 minutes, I would be golden.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. What is your favorite movie genre?
Movie genre. These action movies. If there's explosions and an amazing soundtrack behind it, I'm there.
And on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you love Gecko Hospitality?
Turn it to 11 for
Oh
sure.
yeah, that's what I like
Yeah.
to hear. Well, Chris, thank you so much for coming on Stirring Up Talk.
Thank you so much. It was great being here.